Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Hope you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NIBS Home School. This is Mohammad Emdadul, Assistant Teacher of Mathematics, National Real English Version School, Deshin. Dear students, today I am going to conduct a higher mathematics class of class 9. Our today's topic is Exercise 14, question 18. Question 18 is a creative question. Dear students, in the previous 3 classes I have taken class on this chapter. I have discussed the basic topics of chapter 14, probability. Today I will solve a creative question from the exercise, and that is question number is 18 of exercise 14. See the question at first, then I will solve this question in our today's class. Okay, dear students, now see exercise 14, question 18. There are 8 red, 10 white and 7 black marbles in a basket. A marble is chosen randomly. First question, find all possible outcomes. Second question, find the probability of the marble being, first one red and second one not white. It means that we need to determine the probability of the marble being red and the probability of the marble being not white. Then question 3, if 4 marbles are picked up one by one without replacing any one of them, then find the probability of all marbles being white. It means that in this case we need to determine the probability of getting all marbles being white. In case of 4 attempts here, as here is 4 marbles are picked one by one. If 4 marbles are picked, it means 4 attempts are taken. Okay, dear students, so I will solve this question in our today's class. Let us see what is the solution. First part. In the first part, what we need to determine? We need to determine find all possible outcomes. To determine all possible outcomes, at first we have to see the stem. What is given here? There are 8 red, 10 white and 7 black marbles in a basket. It means the total number of marbles in the basket will be the all possible outcomes. So we can write here, given number of red marbles, that is equal to 8. From the stem we can write number of white marbles, that is equal to 10 given, and number of black marbles, that is equal to 7. So total number of marbles will be the total outcomes. It means all possible outcomes. So we can say, so the total number of marbles, that is equal to 8 plus 10 plus 7, that is equal to 25. So all possible outcomes, therefore number of all possible outcomes is 25. So this is our question, answer of question 1. It means first question. So I have done question 1. Now I have to solve question 2. What is question 2? See question 2. If 4 marbles are picked up, question 2, find the probability of the marble being red in case of first part. What we need to determine here, in case of first part, we have to write here from 1 we get total number of outcomes or all possible outcomes, number of all possible outcomes is 25. Given here, we need to determine the probability for the red marbles, for the marbles being red. So we can write here the favorable outcomes, the number of favorable outcomes, of the marbles being red is equal to, here in case of red, favorable outcomes must be 8, as 8 red marbles were there in the basket. Therefore, the probability of the marble being red, that is equal to, we have to write the favorable outcomes in the numerator and total number of outcomes in the denominator. So 8 by 25 is the probability of the marble being red. Okay, now part 2. Part 2 of question 2. Here, not white. I will not do here, it will take a little more space, so I will erase the first question and I will do here. Part 2 of question 2. So we can write here part 2 from 1 we get number of all possible outcomes, that is equal to 25, given the number of favorable outcomes of the marble being white. Here the total number of marble being white is 10. So favorable outcomes for being marble 10. So we can write, so the probability of the marble being white. That will be, here favorable outcomes is 10 and total outcomes is 25. Now we can calculate here, if we cut by 5, here will be 2, here will be 5. This means 2 by 5. Dear students, this is the probability of the marble being white. But what is our question? The marble being not white. The marble being not white. Dear students, you know that the sum of two mutually exclusive events is 1. Sum of two mutually exclusive events is 1. So, if the probability of the marble being white is 2 by 5, then the probability of the marble being not white must be 1 minus 2 by 5. So, we can write as the sum of two mutually exclusive events, is 1. So, we can write here, therefore, the possibility of or probability of the marble being not white, that will be equal to 1 minus 2 by 5. And if we calculate, what will we get here? 5 minus 2, that is equal to 3 by 5. So, answer of part 2 of question 2 is 3 by 5. Okay, dear students, so I hope you have understood the solution of question 2. Now I will solve question 3. What is question 3 here? If 4 marbles are picked up one by one without replacing any one of them, then find the probability of all marbles being white. So, we need to determine the probability of the marble being, of all the marbles being white. Here, as 4 marbles are picked up one by one, so 4 attempts are taken in question 3. In case of first attempt, total number of outcomes. So, we can write solution here 3. Question 3. In case of first attempt, the total number of outcomes is 25. And the favorable number of favorable outcomes, and the number of favorable outcomes is, what is the number of favorable outcomes? What we need to do? All the marbles being white. All the marbles being white. It means that we need to determine Here the possibility of all the marbles being white. So total 10 white marbles here. So the favorable outcomes will be, number of favorable outcomes will be 10. So we can write here. So the probability of the marble being white, that will be 10 on 25, that is equal to, we can cut here, this will be 2 and this will be 5, 2 by 5. Now again, as first attempt done, and we have to take the next attempt without replacing any one of them. Without replacing any one of them, we have to take 4 attempts. So the total number of marble will decrease by 1, and total number of outcomes also will be decreased by 1. So we can write, in case of second attempt, in case of second attempt, total number of outcomes is equal to 25 minus 1, that is equal to 24, and the number of favorable outcomes will be 10 minus 1, that is equal to, as one marble picked and no replacing marble here, so this will be 9. So we can say, so the probability of the marble being white, that will be 9 by 24, as now total number of marble is 24 and number of favorable outcomes is 9, it means white marble is 9. So we can cut 9 and 24, here will be 3, here will be 8, so this will be 3 by 8. Again, in case of third attempt, total number of outcomes that is 25 minus, sorry, not 25, here is 24. Before this one, total number of outcomes is 24. So we have to subtract 1 again. So this will be 23. And number of favorable outcomes, that is equal to 9 minus 1, that is equal to 8. Now, at last, in case of fourth attempt, finally, in case of fourth attempt, total number of, before this I need to determine the probability in case of third attempt. Determine the probability. So the probability of the marble being white, that is equal to 8 by 23. We can divide, there is no common factor, so we can go to the last step. Finally, in case of last attempt or fourth attempt, total number of outcomes, that is equal to, now here is 23, so we have to subtract 23 minus 1, we have to subtract 1 from 23, this will be 22. So we can write and number of favorable outcomes, that is equal to, here is favorable outcome is 8, so 8 minus 1, that is equal to 7, so the probability of the marble being white, that is equal to, here 7 by 22. Dear students, so we have determined, in case of 4 attempts, we have determined the 4 probability. First one is 2 by 5, second one is 3 by 8, in case of second one probability is 3 by 8, in case of third one probability is 8 by 23, and in case of fourth attempt the probability is 7 by 22. Dear students, here the required probability of getting all the marbles being white, the required probability should be the probability of all the marbles being white, and that will be the product of these 4 probability. Why we have to take product? All these 4 attempts or 4 probability are independent here. So if we take their product, we will get the required probability. So we can write here, therefore the required probability of all the marbles being white will be equal to product of 2 by 5, 3 by 8, 8 by 23. 2 by 5, 3 by 8, 8 by 23, and last one is 7 by 22. So now we can calculate here. If we calculate, what will we get? We can cut 8 and 8. We can cut 2 and 22, that is 11 here. So can we cut now more? I think we can cut. We can't cut. 23 is a prime number, so we can divide this. 5 is a prime number, here is no number divisible by 5. 7 is a prime number, no number divisible in the denominator by 7. So we have to take the product of 3 and 7, that is equal to 21. And what will be the product of 5, 23 and 11? 5, 23 and 11. Take the product of 5, 23 and 11. You will get the denominator, and that will be product of 5, 11 and 23. 5, 11 and 23. That will be 1265. 1265. So this is the required probability of all the marbles being white in 4 attempts. Okay, dear students, I hope you have understood the solution of question 3. It means that I have solved the total creative question, question 18. I hope you have understood our today's class. Keep practicing at home, abide by your parents, stay home, stay safe. See you again. Till then,